PS Tuesday is back. We've got Pat Surtain in the house coming off the Broncos win against the Bears. Pat, what is going on?
What's going on, man? Finally, happy to come back with a dub.
Yep.
Finally, so it feels good.
Man, I mean, just let's dive right into the game. My question is, when did you know that you were going to win this game? Because at times in the game, I mean, down 21-7, going out of halftime, and then everything just kind of flipped in that second half.
Yeah, so obviously the first half wasn't the first half we wanted. There was a lot of mistakes out there in the first half, and obviously the game plan was not to, give them those explosive opportunities and those plays. But I knew we was going to win because at halftime, I just seen everybody's demeanor, how composed everybody was. Then it was like everybody was lit up. Everybody was ready to go back out there, and prove a statement, that we ain't going down, we ain't backing down. We're going to go out there and fight, to the end of the game. And, this just goes to show the type of resilience we have to go out there second half, just to put a whole new, point of energy, point of effort out there just to win that ball game. And, it's pretty special. And we made the right adjustments at halftime, and we came out rolling. So,
is it a speech that happens at halftime, or is it just?
Oh, it's a speech. A little bit of cussing, a little bit of anger going on. But that's the type of fire you need. A lot of guys in the locker room was emotional because we're not emotional, but it was a lot of emotion going on in the locker room because that's not the standard we hold ourselves to, and we all know that as a team. And, we just went out there second half and just was poised to win us a ball game. It showed. So.
Yeah, and you guys got the win, and it was a much-needed win. And I've been in that position before, definitely fighting for a win. And, talk about that relief when you finally get it and how that, rejuvenizes the season. Because when you're fighting for a win and can't get one, then all of a sudden everything is kind of horrible and terrible. Now the food in the cafeteria doesn't taste as good, and the airplane seats aren't as comfortable. Everything's bad when you're fighting for that win. So talk about how you guys feel now and going forward.
Yeah, it's just that sigh of relief, because, anything can happen in this league. You get one win, the next thing you know, momentum builds, you get another win. So all it takes is a win, and, that's what we needed. That's what we preached about, because obviously these first 3 weeks have been hell. Not getting a win and getting embarrassed. That's not the type of season we put out for. That's not the goals we set ourselves for. And, just to be able to get a win, get a dub, it feels good. But even looking back on that win, it's still a lot more work to do. That's the scary part about it. But coming back in that second half and realizing the type of resilience and the type of composure we had to be able to win that ball game, it speaks volumes. So,
and that's everybody has pointed to that, halftime, right after halftime. I know Russell said that's when he knew, just because of the energy in there. I think Russell also said he's talking to Tim Patrick, and Tim said hey, it's gonna happen. I think Court said, I guess these are all Russell stories, but Russell was coming to the sideline saying they know we're coming back. The Bears know that we are coming back in this game. Is that, when you have that sort of energy, everybody's on that same page, playing however they're playing, is that something that you've seen from this team so far this season, or was that kind of a new, hopefully kind of turning point to find that sort of mental space?
You mentioned with Russ, it's just everybody with the team around that time, just talking about positivity, positive affirmations, just speaking that up into the air, and you sense that sort of energy, spreading around the team. And, we just never back down. We never quit. Because football is 60 minutes, So you got the first half where it's man, what the hell are we doing? This is not us. Then the best thing about it is you got another opportunity in the second half to go out there and give it your all and prove it all. And that's what we did. From the start of the second half to the end, man, we just, gave it all we got. We locked in on our keys and played a terrific second half. And like I said before, it's so much more, we need to correct, so much more we need to fix. But just from a team standpoint, that was a great victory.
And from that team standpoint, how do you view the season now? Is it really just 1 week at a time, and now you're coming off one win, and you build that momentum going into next week, and you don't think about, you mentioned it, the embarrassment of the 0-3 start going, but that happened?
Yeah, like you said, it's just week on week, take the week approach as you would take it as any other week, because in this league, nothing is guaranteed. You got to go out there and earn it. And, each and every week now we've got us a win. Each and every week's going to be even harder. So it just feel good to get a win. Just finally. Now we got that momentum, we got that shift. Now we got to keep it. Now we got to improve on the things we need to work on to keep that and maintain that success.
And jumping into this game a little bit, I got to say I was shocked the way the Bears came out offensively and tried to attack you guys in the way of Justin Fields was a pocket passer, and it seemed like that was their game plan going into the week. Their offensive coordinator talked during the week that they were going to use Justin in a very different way than they had the past few games. So I was expecting Justin to come out and try to run like 25 times. So I was shocked when he didn't even want to run the ball. I mean, he wanted to be Tom Brady in the pocket, and that shocked me. Did that catch you guys off guard at all?
It did, but obviously he had a great, great game.
Yeah.
But I say a lot of, the big plays happen off of all mistakes. I'm not trying to discredit them, but a lot of the plays that you've seen, like the touchdowns given up, is off of our mistakes. There's some plays where it's like, okay, great NFL play, and you see that, every week. But some of the plays were mental errors that we've made, and we put ourselves, we shot ourselves in the foot for. And obviously, when stuff like that happens, that's what happens. You give up points, then now we trailing in the ball game. But they came out firing in the first half. Credit goes out to them. Justin is a tremendous player. He's a great playmaker. He could use his feet as well as throwing the ball, which he showed on Sunday. And our game plan was to minimize his opportunities to run and use his feet and sort of capture the pocket and make him make those tough throws. But early on in the game, it seemed like he was making comfortable throws just off of mistakes we made. We settled down, we locked in, and made it harder for him in the second half.
Yeah, I feel like the first 15 is always tough in the game, and then after that, you usually settle down. You talked about how a football game is 60 minutes, and I feel like this was your best, as a team, the best second half you guys have played. Is that something that you guys had talked about? Because it felt like early on in the season, even if the offense would start firing the first half, they weren't firing the second half, or you guys just would have problems throughout, the team in the second half. But you guys really fired on all cylinders. Was that like a coaching point going into this game?
Yeah, it was a coaching point, and it was a wake-up call. Because obviously we was going down with a fight. We wasn't going to take the easy way out and go down 0-4 in the season, because that was not happening. And you could just sense it around, the guys in the locker room and my teammates. The coach was locked in. Everybody was bought into focusing on winning this ball game. And early on in the week, we knew what the game plan was, minimize the run opportunities, make them throw the ball. And, it was just sort of us realizing what we done rather than what they're done. And once we realized that, we put our game plan out there, focused in, played a lot of man going into the second half, and we just locked in and was very attention to detail going into that second half, which was a great thing about it.
Yeah, I like what you said about that, because in going back and watching the game, it isn't like you guys are just getting pushed around, or it's like there's like the receiver's just too fast and nobody can keep up. Like, there's nothing like that. It is just like mistake. Like somebody misses contain. Jaquan just like stumbles on the fade up to the sidelines. Like, it's not necessarily like his fault. Like, guys stumble, but it's just things like that over and over again that they've kind of held the defense back. But then the second half, they all did just kind of, for the most part, go away. Like there were just the mistakes were gone.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, with the first touchdown, the DJ Moore.
Yeah.
Was it? Yeah, he stumbled, and obviously that's something obviously that could be self-corrected. You know what I mean? That's a play he'll make 10 out of 10 times if he was just to keep his feet. And some other plays were just mental errors, plays we can't have, inexcusable, you know. And you know what I mean? Some plays going to be NFL plays, some plays going to be plays that we make mistakes on. As long as we correct it and come out firing, that's the key thing. No matter how the game may go, the only thing that matters is the result. And we came out with a victory, so that's huge.
Yeah, it was huge. And one of the big plays in that game, specifically in the first half, was that touchdown that DJ Moore had. And one of the things we haven't talked about on this pod yet, did he get his foot down?
I didn't see any grass. I definitely didn't see any grass.
I looked at the replay, I was like, no way. No way he got this is going to be a touchdown. But according to the officials, he got his foot on the pylon, and that counts as a touchdown.
Oh, the pylon counts?
Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
So dang.
That's what happened. But clearly, when you see from the obvious eyes, like, he didn't get 2 feet down.
Yep.
But NFL rules.
There's always a new rule.
They always trying to help out the offense, man.
Always.
That was a
Always.
pioneer.
Always.
2 feet off the ground. That's in too. That's
Always.
crazy.
Did you guys see the play in the Monday night game last night? It was like the very first play of the game, or at least it was the Seahawks' first run of the game, where the running back got tackled but was on the linebacker. Do you guys think he was down?
I don't know. I don't think so.
I didn't think he was down.
Yeah, maybe not.
I think
Would
his
they
ass hit the
rule it?
ground.
They ruled him down.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, they
So,
ruled him down, but
his-
he got up and ran 80 yards for a touchdown.
Yeah.
Yeah, that time, one of the only times they don't help.
That's gonna be the only
offense
time
there.
the whole game.
Back to the game. You mentioned how at halftime everyone came out and you made some adjustments and the team was fired up. Is that something that comes from Sean, from Vance specifically for the defense, or from the players? Is it talking about like the fired up?
No, every great team is player led. So, you know, the coaches made their game plan and adjustments, but everything that's built in with the culture and the attitude is through the players. You know what I mean? And in order to be successful, you got to have players that's willing to step up and tell you what you did wrong and, you know, hold each other accountable. You know, that's what happened during the locker room. Even I told the fellas, like, man, I'm playing like bullshit right now. Like, you know, and everybody else knew, like, we playing like shit as well too. So it was just that wake-up call that we needed in the locker room. You know what I mean? And that's what happened, and everybody was just fired up and ready to go out there and win the ball game.
And Todd, how big is that when the best player on one side of the ball comes out and says, I'm playing like shit? How does that trickle down?
I think that's really huge because it allows the guys who aren't the best or the younger guys to kind of let their mistakes go. Let them know that everybody makes mistakes. They can kind of move on, because sometimes if you make a mistake, especially as a young player or a guy that's supposed to be stepping into a role, you think about the whole game and then it affects your whole game. So for them being able to like let that go and move on to the next play, I think it really helped them. And I think you saw the impact of it in the second half for sure.
Yeah. And I want to get further into how the defense can build from the second half after I tell you about our friends over at Bet365. Big game coming up for the Broncos this week in many ways, and we're going to get into that in a second. But if you want to get in on the action, use the code DNVR when you sign up over at Bet365 to get $365 in bonus bets when you place a $1 bet. You'll get $365 in bonus bets when you use the code DNVR at 365 at sign up. And you must be 21 or older and physically located in Colorado. Please gamble responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER.
Oh, it's the short one.
It's the short one,
Oh,
yeah.
see, I thought it was a long one, so I was just like slowly
Taking
pulling
your
up the
time.
ads. Head on over to Primo Hoagies because they've got a whole bunch of awesome sandwiches. I think they were started in Philadelphia. I guess I could probably look at this and it would say, so they're like real hoagies. Like they're they're like where hoagies came from. They now have locations in Colorado, obviously, both in Denver and in Centennial. So if you want to go get some food for a football game, their party trays are a great option, especially if you've got a big crowd. They only use the highest quality Thuman's meats and cheeses. They're sliced fresh to order. They're served on Primo's award-winning seeded rolls and baked fresh every day. So you can order in advance if you want those party trays online at primohoagies.com. It's not just a hoagie, it's a Primo.
Pat, what do you think makes a real hoagie? Like Hank's talking about, it's a real hoagie.
A real hoagie.
A real hoagie? I mean, you got to have the right toppings, the right ingredients.
Yeah.
Like me, with my hoagies, I like the bread. I like the bread toasted. Not too toasted, but a little toasted.
Okay.
I don't like the bread too soggy because you put the condiments, the mayonnaise, the mustard to get too soggy, but the toasted bread evens it out.
Yep.
Then you gotta have the right type of finish out with turkey, cheese, or some Italian meat, something like that. So maybe that makes the right hoagie. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like maybe put banana peppers on it as well too.
That's a must. That's a must.
Yeah.
Speaking of like the real stuff, like the Primo hoagies being the real stuff, when we walked into the locker room to talk to you guys after the game, we saw all the pizzas lined up for you guys on the way out. Was that some deep dish?
Deep dish.
Yep. Was it good?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Which one did you get? There's like cheese, pepperoni, or sausage? Pepperoni, okay.
Yeah. It's like three layers of cheeses on it.
Man, that's good.
Yeah, it's pretty
good. That's a good post-victory meal right there.
Definitely.
Now, speaking of the defense, Pat, from the outside perspective, for 2 or 3 weeks, a lot of people from outside have been calling for Vance and saying, this is all on Vance, all on Vance, all on Vance. We talked to Zach Allen yesterday. He said, people outside the building don't know what the hell they're talking about. We know it's the players executing. It's not scheme-based. What you've said in the first segment kind of lends to that. So I'm sure a lot of people tuning in right now are probably thinking, the defense is just one thing away, and that's Vance, but it doesn't seem like that's what it is from inside the building.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people could say certain things from outside in, not knowing what's going on, but it's not Vance at all. Vance really have a clear cut game plan of what's really going on. He puts us in right positions to execute. And these last couple games we execute to the level of standard that he preaches and that we preach as a team. And stuff is not on him. The blame shouldn't be on him. It's 100% on us as a team and as players to stand up to the challenge, and play football. That's the main thing. Because he set out the game plan. He's not going out there putting his pads on, but he puts us in right positions to succeed, and we got to be able to execute.
Yeah, I love Vance, man. I played for him. Got a lot of respect for Vance. I do feel like he gets stressed on that sideline, though. Sometimes you see when he start chewing that gum real hard. My man.
Yeah, he's scratching his head like, what are you doing? Like,
it's getting to him. No, but that's good to hear because I think we talked about it both about Vance putting together a game plan, but also players executing. So that's good to hear. It's not all on Vance, and I think you guys can move forward with this after a victory like this. But also knowing that so many guys are out, like Justin Simmons and Josey Jewell and Mike Purcell, does that even make you feel like, man, we played good, but if everybody's back, even though the young guys that came in played well, like we didn't even have everybody to really do what we could do. Like, do you guys have faith that you guys can even be better with all your starters being out?
Yeah, you always want your best players out there on the field available for you, because you want the best guys out, but. The guys that's rolling in, coming in, the standard's still the same. We expect to come in, and be a dominant defense no matter who's out there because, we set that goal for ourselves to be one of the most dominant defenses in the NFL. So, obviously you want your best players out there, but, next guy up mentality. And, that's the type of thing. That's the type of motto we establish around the building, that we need to carry on going forward because, in the NFL, injuries happen. It's a physical game. It's a rough game. Injuries come and go. But the next guys that's stepping up, they need to have that same type of mentality, same type of, enthusiasm when they go out there on the field, to step up and make big plays.
How do you get back to that dominant defense that the Broncos are so used to for almost the past decade?
Yeah, it's just all about, executing at a high level, but also we out there on the field, it's all about urgency and effort. You know what I mean? Because even if you make a mistake, it's all about the guys who's going out there that's willing to make a play, that's willing to give all the effort that they could give, you know what I mean, and hold opposing offenses back. And that's the main thing with us, because we could do all those things. It's just we hold ourselves to a high standard, and we take us how far we want to take us in a way. So it's all about what we put out there on the field, you know, execution-wise, effort-wise, and how we play. You know, it speaks volumes.
And there was a flash of that dominant defense in the fourth quarter with Nick Bonito coming off the edge, hitting Justin Fields, causing the fumble, Coop picking it up, taking it into the end zone. Is that something, those type of plays that can really jumpstart the defense, not just for this past week? Because I think that's when, like, everyone else knew, like, okay, the Broncos are winning this game. All the momentum's in their favor. The defense just made a big play. Russ just had that touchdown to Cortland. They're winning this game. Is that something that you guys really felt and can take you into weeks in the future?
Yeah. When that play happened, it just wasn't, you felt the energy of the defense. You just felt it through the whole team. And how everybody was just happy. Everybody was, you know, just felt that eagerness just to go out there and win a ball game. Because all you need is a player to really change the outcome of a game. You know, that was a big play right there. Rush touchdown the court was a big play throughout the game. Then Rush throwing that ball to Mims was a big play. Then us making key stops, that fourth down stop. You know what I mean?
Were you surprised they went for it there?
I mean, shoot. I mean, I didn't know what to expect at that point, because throughout the whole game, the Bears' offense, they was really aggressive with their play calling, going on and on fourth down, third downs. You know, because obviously they felt confident with them being up a few scores, so we had to stand up, you know, and make our presence felt. And we made that stop. It was a big game changer.
Yeah,
for sure.
It definitely was.
When you don't have Justin out there, and I guess Josey too. I mean, those are two of your kind of
alphas,
key guys in terms of communication. Yeah, I mean, like Josey gets the play call in, he's sharing that around. I know Justin's in charge of a lot of communication back there. How does that change your role? Like, do you try to take some of that on? Is it tougher to hear what's happening, what you need to do?
Yeah, you know, certain roles as a corner, you know, we hear play call and lock in, like safety's got to give out the down distance, the personnel, stuff like that. That's just the responsibility, you know, that different positions, you know, hold for each other. And obviously that's what's expected. Trouble came in and played a tremendous game, by the way. He made some key stops, key tackles, made some plays on the football. And, you know, once you see guys like that making plays, you know, it motivates you to make a play as well, too. But, yeah, like you said, with Justin and Josey out, it's certain roles that, like the safety position is a key role in the defense and the linebacker position. Just giving out certain personnels, you know what I mean, the play calls, and, you know, just calling out certain adjustments, you know what I mean, that's their role. And as a corner, you know what I mean, in your way, you could be the vocal leader, but honestly, you go out there and play your part, play your job, you know, lock in on your assignment. So that's the main thing around that.
Did you feel like as a leader you've had to step up these past couple of weeks with what's happened? Obviously a bad first half against the Bears, a really tough game the week before, and then Josey, Justin being out for those games too?
Yeah. Talking about halftime, I actually had to step up, you know, because I'm not that much of a vocal leader. You know what I mean? I just sort of let my presence felt, but I had to step up, you know, and rally the guys in and tell them, hey, we need to do better. You know what I mean? That's not the standard that we put out for ourselves. And, you know what I mean? It's just that little bit of, you know, pep talk, that little bit of talk that can motivate a team, you know, especially coming from me, you know, other key guys around the team that helps the team succeed going on further along the lines.
And when's the last time you did something like that?
It's like a little bit of flashes, but to that extent, I haven't done it in a minute.
Like Bama?
Yeah, like Bama.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Bama was probably the last time I actually was really, really not invested, but really, really concerned about something. And I've really had to step up and say something. You know what I mean? And I just felt like it needed to be said. So,
what could you have been concerned about at like 11-0 at Bama? that concerned about?
It's a lot of things to be concerned about.
You have Saban there? Probably.
Yeah. Just to a standard that we uphold ourselves to, and then Saban comes in yelling out of nowhere like, "What's going on?" And he'd be like, "Oh man, obviously something's going on."
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just 11-0. There's still some things that could be said, but obviously we know when we up a certain amount of scores, it's like, oh, ain't nothing much to be said. Then you hear Coach Saban come in, it's like, okay, yeah, this is something that needs to be said.
I mean, I kind of got that vibe talking to Sean Payton after the game. I was expecting him to come in and be thrilled, getting his first win with the Broncos, especially a big comeback, like a big weight off his shoulders. And I felt like I was talking to a coach that just lost. And it's because he kind of took that approach, that Saban approach of like, no, we did not play to our standard at all. And he even said, like, we're going to play much better teams than who we just played this week. So we need to play a lot better. Do you see kind of similarities with Sean and Nick in that regard?
Oh, yeah. No complacency with them. Because obviously when they bring in, they know what winning looks like. They know what winning is supposed to look like. And obviously we won a ball game last week, but it wasn't we didn't put it all together. You know, it wasn't a great ball game, even though we won. And they just know once we put it all together, it could be a special team. We just need to find the right pieces, the right tools to sort of put it all together and just win us ball games. And to not even allow it to be close. Like, we shouldn't put ourselves below the belt like that, being down, what was it, 21-3 at halftime? Or?
Yeah, 7, I think.
Yeah.
21-7 at halftime.
Yeah.
Like, we shouldn't shoot ourselves in the foot like that. You know what I mean? And obviously he knows, and great coaches like that, you know, think alike. And winning teams come together and find ways to win. But we shouldn't put ourselves down below like that early on in the game, because it puts so much pressure on ourselves for no reason.
Yeah.
To come back and put ourselves in position to win. You know, it should never be like that. It should always, we should be taking control before halftime. You know what I mean? That's what winning teams do.
Yeah, absolutely. I think winning teams come together. And I want to get on like a positive note and kind of ask you about some of your other young guys. You know, now that you're a veteran here on this team, I want to talk to you about like guys like Marvin Mims and Jaleel McLaughlin, some young guys that are coming in and stepping up, and just like you, making their presence felt as a rookie. How does that impact your team? How does that make you guys feel having this young talent now on the team helping you guys out?
Yeah, when you see young guys like that step up in critical parts of the game, it's huge. It's a huge momentum swing. And, you know, guys like that, when you put them on a team and they make plays like that, it just gives the team a sense of hope, knowing that you see guys out there making plays week in and week out so early on in their career, man. It's like, why not rally behind them and make plays as well, too? And they stepped up in big-time roles. For Jaleel, his story is crazy. Just him coming in, you know, him working his way up to and fighting to make a roster spot on his team, then him showing up in big-time games. You know, that's just motivating itself. Just understanding how hard he works, you know, and how much this game means to him. And Mims just coming in each and every week, making one play after another, making big plays is very huge for our team.
Yeah, and that does kind of seem like the bright side of not having guys like Justin and Josey. Because, I mean, like you said, DTY, he played a really good game. Like, he had that pass breakup. He was getting in there. Jaquan, like, he was physical in the run game. Like, he was plugging everything up. Even Drew Sanders, he had the tough game last week, but he was, like, in the running game, he looked really good this week. He was always in the right spot. Things were coming right to him. He had some nice hits. Like, that's got to be valuable in the long run, right? To have a lot of those guys get some opportunities like this.
Yeah, it's very valuable. And the more value you have for your team, the more success it goes on later down in the road. And when you have people in those important positions step up, and, you know, it means a lot, especially when guys go down. You expect the next person to sort of uphold that standard. And, you know, that's what everybody did. And it's pretty remarkable to see.
To ride off that positivity, what is club dub like? What's a Sean Payton winning locker room like?
Oh, man, it was dope. We had the smoke everywhere. We had the music playing. We had Lil Baby.
Talking about a fog machine. Fog machine. Yeah.
Fog
I got
machine. There you
I
go.
got
There you go.
I
Not
got
the smoke.
I got
the fog
you, I got
machine.
Not passing things around.
Yeah. The fog machine, but yeah, it was dope. Just the energy in the locker room after the game. Everybody happy, everybody excited. You know what I mean? Just to know how much that game meant to us. It was very exciting. You see the coaches already in together, sharing that moment with us. And we look to capture plenty more of those moments after the game. So
I love that. Is that normal with like smoke machines and the music, specifically on the road? Is that normal in the NFL?
Not at all. That's Sean. I don't think I've ever had another coach bring fog machines and speakers. I mean, one guy may bring a speaker. Vaughn always brought a speaker, but that wasn't the coach setting
Right.
it up, making sure we had a good time. That's Sean.
Man, that's awesome. And another win could be on store this week, and what a game it is. There's so many storylines here, and Pat, I want to dive into it with you after I tell you about our friends over at Backus and Schenker. If you need to sue Smash the 2, if you're in an accident, any sort of accident, you need to call our friends over at Backus and Schenker with 222-2222 or visit them at coloradolaw.net. You don't pay for a consultation. You don't pay when they're working on your case. It is free until they win for you, and they've won over $1 billion. So check them out over at Backus and Schenker.
And shout out to our friends over at the Breckenridge Distillery, where they have the Breckenridge Bourbon, official bourbon of the Denver Broncos contest, which is the Battle of the Blends. I think we have the Ed McCaffrey and the Alfred Williams right in front of us. Both terrific bourbons. You got to vote for your favorite and win Breckenridge Distillery and Broncos swag. You can enter to win at BreckenridgeDistillery.com/bourbon-of-Denver-Broncos/. I know it's long, but it's really worth it because you can win 2 tickets to the Breckenridge Bourbon Whiskey Suite for the Broncos versus Chargers game. Post your favorite Broncos photos on IG and Facebook using hashtag Broncos Bourbon. So go check out our friends over at Breckenridge Distillery.
Okay, in this Jets game coming up, we've got you going up against Garrett Williams. We've got Zach Wilson, a new quarterback for what?
Wilson.
What'd I say?
Williams.
Garrett Wilson.
It's all, yeah.
Garrett
You
Wilson.
good,
I was gonna
man.
go
You
for
good.
Zach
that.
Wilson,
good, man.
being their new quarterback, and now he looks good, really good in this past game. But then, of course, we've got you and Sauce, and then also we've got you going up, the entire team going up against Nathaniel Hackett, who was the head coach last year. You don't see that too often, but let's start with you and Sauce, 2 of the best, if not the best, corners in the game. Certainly the 2 best young corners in the game. But who has a better nickname, Sauce or PS2?
PS2, man.
I love
I mean,
it.
I uphold that very highly.
Yeah.
I think it's a dope nickname.
It is. It's
Yeah.
perfect.
And there's
It's
only
very
one
dope.
PS2, you know what I'm
It's true.
saying?
Yeah.
There's
That's
tons
true.
of sauces. You know what I'm saying?
It's true, and they're actually a little different because like Sauce, that's what he goes by, like Sauce Gardner. You don't go by PS2 Surtain.
the second.
Oh, no,
So
nah.
it is a little
You got a
different.
point. You got a point. Yeah.
Sauce is like Champ
Yep.
Bailey, his brother Boss Bailey. Those aren't their real first names.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? You guys know what Champ's first name is?
I have no
Roland.
clue.
Roland.
Roland,
Yep.
baby.
Yep.
And you know what Boss's first name is? His brother.
Ooh. Roderick?
Very close. Starts with an R. It is Rodney.
Rodney.
Yeah.
Rodney.
Yeah.
There you go.
Rodney,
Wow.
which is really cool, I think, for parents to like when you're young, be like, yeah, we're gonna give you these names, but instead we're gonna call you Champ and Boss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
Which
That's
my
good.
parents would have.
Sometimes it'd be in their middle name, usually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Switch it up. But
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Boss
Boss
yeah.
Stevens.
PS2. You can't beat it.
No, hands
No.
down, can't be beat.
So, are you 2 the best corners in the NFL?
I mean, you could discuss this, you know what I mean, week in and week out. I mean, I don't try to get involved into it too much. That's like fans' opinion. That's like, you know what I mean, because it's crazy with our position. It fickles, you know what I mean. A corner can have a bad game, then he's bottom of the pole, and the corner can have a great game. You know what I mean? It's just our position is so, it varies. It depends on good CB play like week in and week out. So, I mean, if y'all think that, then sure, but I don't know, man.
Yeah,
I
guess
just
you
leave
could,
it up to the fans
Yeah,
and
you could
everybody
just let
else.
first team All Pro speak for itself, I guess.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So
And we've talked to you earlier when we've had you on earlier in the season about you and Sauce, but you guys have a relationship off the field? I've seen you guys go back and forth on Twitter in a friendly way, and that doesn't always happen with players on different teams.
Yeah, me and Saul, we talk here and there. Talk about ball. At the Pro Bowl, we talked a lot. We don't. Everybody think it's just like a competition between everybody. It's just everybody respect each other's game. Like I look at his film, he look at my film. We just it's just a sort of appreciation for the position around the league, and you can just see it, through social media on like how many guys respect each other's game. It's just, you could put in the competition in terms of everybody got these analytics you want to put out there on this and that, but when I look at it, I just feel like there's so many great elite players around the league in our position, and you just got to appreciate that.
Yeah, so for when I played linebacker, I definitely watched a lot of guys around the league, and by watching their film, you kind of know their weaknesses and their strengths. And I would go tell guys, like, hey, if you're a running back, make sure you go to your left on this guy because he can't really move. Is this the kind of game where you go tell Court and Judy, like, Sauce's weaknesses so they can have an advantage in the game? Like, maybe he doesn't do so well against, a hard move off the line or something like that. Is this a game where you can help them out?
Why not get the advantage?
Exactly.
You need it. Why not get it? Any way to win.
Do you get that? Do the receivers give that to you going up against like the Jets or whoever your next opponent is, their receivers? If like Court and Jerry have been studying other receivers' games? Or is that just something you see on tape as a corner?
Yeah, that's something you see on tape. It's just so different because like when you're a corner, you go against a receiver and it's like, okay, I got a feel for him. Like for a corner to go to receive and tell them about somebody else's game, you just don't know because based off scheme and based on how they utilize them, you can't really get a feel for it. You could watch film here and there, but at a corner, every corner has a plan at the line. Every corner has different calls that they had to use or vary in their toolbox. So I think it's just different in some ways, but you can also learn a lot from other people's perspective on what they see on film. So,
Todd, I thought when you were telling that story, you were gonna say like after games, I go up to those linebackers and I say, "Hey man, here's what you need to work on." No, instead you're exposing it to your teammates, which is probably what you should do, though.
Yeah, I got to give my guys the edge. I got to help them out anywhere I can. So
it's only right.
It's not like Von Miller's pass rush fraternity that he has where they all go help each other out. You're doing the opposite. You're like tearing the guys down with your own teammates.
Listen, I think a lot of guys do it. And, Von, he does that pass rush summit like in the offseason. He's not coaching guys up like they're about to play us. Like, it's not happening.
He about to say, oh, yeah, our tackle does this.
Yeah.
He ain't going to do that.
Take advantage of it.
Man.
So I know you haven't fully dove into to Jets tape yet, but you're obviously familiar with Garrett Wilson. What makes him such a good receiver?
I think he has it all. His skill set, is through the roof. He's fast. He can run good routes. Catch the ball great as well too. And they use him in ways for him to succeed. They move him around in the slot some, outside some, at the X. You know what I mean? So obviously he's their playmaker. And when you got a guy like that on the other team, he's going to get the ball, and they're going to utilize him in ways to succeed.
I feel like every single week leading up till now, there's been a guy on the other team that it's very easy for outsiders to be like, yep, Pat should just follow him all game. Week 1, Devontae. Week 2, Terry. Week 3, Tyreek specifically with Jalen out. This past week, obviously, DJ Moore. This coming week, Garrett Wilson.
Yeah.
And still, a lot of fans see, like, against Tyreek, why was Pat only on him 21 plays? Why isn't Pat on Garrett Wilson 100% of plays?
Yeah, you could say that, but sometimes the coverage and sometimes the game plan doesn't work to that. Obviously, I want to follow the best the whole game, but sometimes you want to mix it up. You don't want to give the same team the same look because then that's how they could beat you, and do different things. You want to give different teams different looks so they could be unsure. It could be easy just to have me match up on the best, every play. I would want that. I would like that. But sometimes you got to mix it up as a defense. You know what I mean? To give an offense a different amount of looks.
So you can jump routes and get picks
yeah,
and
yeah,
throw them
yeah.
off.
You know what I mean? And it makes your job easier. And because you want to make as much plays as you can. So coach is going to put you in positions to do that. Every play is not going to be a matchup type of play. But, you know, it's all about how you maximize yourself in a certain call.
Does Kareem hold the interceptions that he has over you guys? 2 picks for him this year?
I'm pretty sure he does. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he is. Some point throughout the weeks.
Yeah, yeah.
He called the
we
defense
got to
together.
catch up. We got to catch up to him though.
Yeah,
Yeah, he called the defense together, like in the second half of that game, right? Was it the second half? Might have been the first half. Were you in there?
Yeah.
What was he saying?
Everything was just bullshit. I mean, when you got a guy like Kareem, a vet that's been in this league, he knows what's right and what's wrong. And obviously, when you got a guy like that that's speaking up about something, everybody's gonna listen because you know, he's seen a lot of football and he knows what it looks like and what it doesn't look like. So he was just telling us, man, like the urgency's not there, the effort's not there. Like ain't no way we shouldn't be winning right now. You know what I mean? That's the standard we hold ourselves to, and that's sort of lit a fire in us as well too. So when you got guys like that on the team that knows what winning football looks like, you got to listen and execute.
Todd, did you ever do that during
What?
a game?
Rally guys.
And
Yeah,
call
sometimes
them
you
out on
need
their
to.
BS?
Hey, sometimes you need to. Sometimes you need to say something to get guys rallied and bring them together for a common cause, especially in a game like that, a game that we all had them blowing, you know, the Bears out. And they didn't play the way they needed to the first half. They got it figured out because of people stepping up and saying what they need to say. A guy that remind me a lot, PS2, is Demaryius. He didn't always have something to say, but when he said something, everybody took the time and listened and definitely changed our perspective on the football field. So it's definitely necessary. Sometimes you might have to say something. Sometimes you might have to grab somebody, choke them up. Like, just is what it is.
Better make sure my jokes are good.
Yeah, you just,
terrifying.
Henry's eyes just exploded right there.
No, I got to bring my A game to the podcast now.
Another massive storyline. I mean, it was looking like this game was going to be the storyline in the entire NFL since the start of the season.
Yeah.
Nathaniel Hackett, and we'll start with just the angle of like former head coach. I mean, he was your head coach 10 months ago. Well, what's it like? What's it going to be like going up against a former head coach? And have you ever done that?
Yeah, I just went against one of my former head coaches against the Dolphins.
Oh, that's right, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, with Coach Fangio, him being the defensive coordinator over there now. But yeah, man, obviously what happened in the offseason was, you know what I mean, it's fuels it up even more. But I have nothing but respect for Coach Hackett. He's just a great guy all around. You know, he was a player's coach. He got the guys going, put us in positions to win. You know what I mean? You could ask him about anything, even that's not related to football. You know, he was just a great coach all around. And it's going to be pretty exciting to go up against him. It's going to feel like training camp again, going up against his offense.
Yeah. How badly do you think
things.
he wants to win?
I'm pretty sure he wants to win badly.
Yeah.
I mean,
bet.
everybody wants to win, of course, but I think it puts the icing on the cake for him.
Yep.
But obviously, we're going to go out there and want to win the ball game as well, too. So it's going to be a very physical game, and it's going to be a great game.
And then you mention it, Sean in training camp just puts the extra sprinkles on top of this game with his comments from a player's perspective. When you see a coach come out and fire up a game, regardless if it's those comments specifically or other comments, and get even more juice behind a game, does that trickle down into the locker room and make the locker room even more fired up? Because from an outside perspective, it certainly gets the fans more fired up.
Absolutely. Everybody got energy. And everybody's ready to go now. And I know Sean, the thing about Sean is I know he probably hasn't left the building since they got back Sunday night. He's going to be ready to go.
He's locked in. He's locked in for sure. He's ready.
Yeah. That seems like something that happens more in college football.
Yeah.
Like it seems like
Like
it's
the
the college
rile-
coaches who kind of rile things. Yeah.
Yeah.
What was it, Nick Saban and Jimbo Fisher a couple of years
Yeah,
ago talking
that's
about
right.
like how they deal with NIL stuff?
I think
And
last year.
Nick took a shot, or Jimbo took a shot, last year. There's some coaches that you probably don't want to mess with, and Nick's probably one of them.
Yeah.
Sean Payton, I know maybe he wasn't messed with, but I wouldn't want to mess with Sean or give him any
it's
extra
a different
motivation.
perspective because, you know what I mean, you see players arguing, but when you see coaches going at it, then it's like, okay, it brings more fire to the party. You know what I mean? Then all the players rally behind their coaches, and everybody's just going after each other. Everybody's getting at it. But I don't really sense that because it died down some, so it hasn't been brought up as much. You know what I mean? We taking this week as like a regular week. We ain't going to do anything out the ordinary just because Coach Hackett is coming back. But, you know what I mean? We treat it as a regular football game. You know, go out there, play to our standard, play at a high level, and, you know, when it's a ball game. So
Who do you think has an advantage for preparing for a game and then in the game? Is it the former coach who knows everything about the players on the other side of the ball that he's going against, or is it the players that have gone against him and, like you said, in training camp for like 100 practices leading up to this game?
That's a good question because either way is an advantage in a way because you know so much about the other person or the other scheme or the other player. But I just think it's the best man wins. You know what I mean? Each and every Sunday, the team that is more desperate, that's more eager, is going to win the football game. And no matter what you know or how you know it, it's all about what you put out there on Sunday. So I think that's the biggest thing.
How desperate is this team right now?
Very desperate.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to. This win was big, but we all know as a team that there's plenty more to come, and we have a lot to work on as a team. But, you know, this is just the beginning. You know, it's still early on in the season. We still got a lot of more football ahead of us.
Yeah.
And that's the best thing about it.
For sure. Before we move on from Hackett,
Yeah.
you know, Zeke went back to the Cowboys and they gave him a video and a tribute. Do you think Hackett's going to get a video and tribute on Sunday when he comes here?
No, I don't think so.
Not this trip?
I don't think so.
Probably
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, probably not. I know a lot of fans have been talking about counting down the play clock.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, it was like a 1 year occurrence. You know, Zeke was there,
Yep.
you know, for his whole time throughout his NFL career. So it's going to be a little different. I don't think that would happen, though.
probably not. I don't think so. Wouldn't that be something?
That
though?
would be
You know, fans would go
something.
crazy when that was going on. And really good because that reminded me. We've talked about we've talked about it with you and Todd when home fans boo their own crowd because it's happened
It's crazy.
probably
It
every
is.
year for the past 5 years or
It's crazy,
something.
bro.
But Henry and I were at the Bears game, and those fans were even more ruthless. I swear it was like it was the Bears' first series.
First drive,
when
it was 4th and 1.
Yeah, it was 4th
Yeah.
and 1, midfield. They decided to punt. Right when they sent their punt team on, the Bears fans booed louder than I've heard Denver fans boo ever. And this was the first quarter, like 10 minutes left in the game. Obviously, it's got to be tough for the players and stuff, especially the coach, because they're really booing him. But when you're on the road and you hear fans booing their own team, does that do the opposite? Does it just get you fired up? Or do you even hear it?
Oh, we hear it.
We hear it all the time.
Yeah.
It just gives you some like we doing it.
Yeah.
Like, we doing something. You know what I mean? For sure.
Yeah.
I mean,
I've never gotten somebody booed before.
You've what?
Never gotten somebody booed.
You ever
I've never
booed?
gotten been booed.
You
I've
ever
never been booed myself.
Have you ever
Pe-
booed at
people
the
have-
stadium? Or were you one of
only
those fans?
only like when the
See?
Lakers come out. Not like the home team. Like I've never
okay.
booed like the Nuggets. But like you see the Lakers and it's like LeBron, screw you. Yeah.
Dang, that's
yeah.
cold.
I mean, it's
you're
what you
not a
do.
LeBron fan?
I'm a LeBron fan. I don't know about.
For real?
Nuggets. I mean, it's. I used to like LeBron more, and then he went to the Lakers, and I was just like, well, now I've got to deal with him, and so it's. Like, I get why you like him, but from a Nuggets perspective, like anything Lakers, I just have to hate it.
Hank, defend yourself stronger. Don't,
Yeah, because he
don't
was
give into
so
the
much
pressure
more
of
than just
Todd
the
and Pat.
Lakers, you know?
Yeah, he was, but now he's not. Right now he's a Laker.
And
And
we
then
were
now
having
you
a-
open the season against him, and you're going to go kick his ass, and then it's going to be awesome.
Is it so much for you don't like LeBron or you don't like the Lakers? Or is it
It's-
the fact that LeBron being on the Lakers?
It's the Lakers. It's the Lakers that drives it, but because I've seen him play for the Lakers against the Nuggets so many times, I also don't like him because like it's just over and over and over.
We were having a conversation about who's the bigger GOAT between LeBron James and Tom Brady. And I said worldwide, I think LeBron James is hands down the bigger GOAT. But in your opinion, who's the bigger GOAT, LeBron or Tom Brady?
I've been a LeBron fan since since like 07, 05, since he's been in the league. Obviously Tom Brady made his presence, he had a remarkable career, and obviously he's the GOAT. But I don't know, I just feel like LeBron worldwide is different.
Yeah.
Because I just feel like just the basis of the sport, like basketball is more known worldwide than football just because. But I think if you look at it from like what you know of, like everybody calls Tom Brady the GOAT, but everybody knows LeBron as face of basketball, like basketball, this and that. So I don't know. It's how you see it. I don't know.
You were a Heat fan growing up, right?
Yeah.
So then being a LeBron fan before he even came to Miami, how sweet was that?
Dope. Went to every game. I remember going to every game, and it was some exciting years going on down there.
Yeah. So do you make it to every game that he comes in town here?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna try my best to.
Yeah.
But if not, I'm gonna be watching.
I'll be there that opening night. Get the rings. But see, the other
they
thing
play
about
the Lakers?
Yeah, that's the first game.
Oh,
They get the rings. They hang the banner.
Plus,
gotta
speaking
go.
of shit talk that's been going on, that's now boiling up. Now the training camp's starting. The
I know,
Lakers
but
are
that's
talking.
what's so fun is like the Nuggets have been the underdog against the Lakers for like 40, 50 years, and now it's like AD going around talking about like, yeah, these Nuggets got like we want to beat them. It's like it feels so good. We've been the little guy for forever.
Because they feel like Michael Malone was talking about them this offseason, so now they're throwing it back. I love it.
That's gonna be a great game.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a great game.
Speaking of games, we've got a little game we're gonna play with you in our fourth and final segment. After I tell you about our friends over at Game Time, you want to go to this Jets game? I think it's gonna be awesome. Use the code DNVR over at Game Time to get $20 off your first purchase. So you can get tickets to the Jets game for $20 cheaper if you go to Game Time and use that code DNVR. And you can do it for concerts, any sporting event. You want to go to Nuggets Lakers week 1, use that code, or game 1, use that code DNVR over at Game Time.
And also go get yourself some Shady Rays because it's going to be sunny every day for 10 days. And probably even longer. That's how far the calendar goes. Shady Rays are awesome. They're great sunglasses, and they're not nearly as expensive as like the designer sunglasses, but they're also just great quality. So if you want to go pick some up, you can go to shadyrays.com, use the code DNVR. You'll get 50% off 2 or more pairs of polarized sunglasses. They've been given 5-star reviews by over 250,000 people, so go and check them out for yourself.
Go and check them out. And Pat, we've been checking out these shirts you've been wearing before the games, and it's really cool. You've been honoring Broncos tradition, NFL history, family history with these shirts. Week 1, you were rocking a DT shirt before the game. Week 2, it was champ. Week 3, when you're at home, you're rocking Pops on the shirt. We didn't catch. Was there a shirt this past week?
Nah, I ain't have a shirt this week.
Is it gone?
No, it's not gone. I'm gonna have plenty more in store. Plenty more legends of Broncos history coming on. Yep.
Yeah.
Got it.
Todd.
Wow.
I need that.
Bronco legend. Yep.
I love
Soon.
it. So I mean, it's such a cool thing you do because sometimes you see players rocking other players, rocking their friends. Where'd you get this idea?
I just see it around the league, and I was like, man, it's pretty dope. And why not go out there and, just honor Broncos history? And because there's so many great players, before this team that, set their mark on this franchise. And I was like, why not honor them, and make their name, captivate even more. So, I think it's just something that I got to keep going, keep on bringing the tradition out of. So.
Do you have an idea for this week?
I don't.
Maybe a Nathaniel Hackett shirt?
Maybe.
Here we go, dog.
That would be something. We do have some ideas for you if you don't have all 18 weeks planned out.
Oh, yeah.
Can we toss some ideas your way?
Yeah.
And you can tell us if it's an idea you would like to roll with or not?
Yeah.
All right, let's pull up a couple ideas here. First idea we've got, Von Miller.
Oh, yeah,
Number
of course.
58.
Yeah.
Of course.
Easy.
Of
I mean,
course.
talk about Broncos legend. He fits right in with that.
Still
Got
in the
to.
league though.
Oh, that's
Like
a
that,
good
you
one.
know?
I think you got to be out the league.
You do?
Yeah.
Yeah, because if you wear somebody else that's in the league still, it's kind of like,
I don't know.
I don't know. You would do it?
Yeah, I mean, Von, he's really like Broncos.
He
For sure,
is.
for sure.
I mean,
When you
still,
talk
like,
about
calls him a
Von, you talking about
Bronco.
Broncos.
Yeah, when he
Like,
talks
and
about the Broncos, he's still saying
loves,
we.
He loves Denver.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like every time I talk to him, it's about how we doing, how's everybody around the organization. It's like he has all love for Denver, so he's definitely a Broncos legend.
Because
For sure.
you played with him for 6 games, right? His rookie
Yeah,
season
6 games.
is when or your rookie season was when he was traded.
Yeah.
Yep. Now, would you wear that week 11, week 10 when you
10.
played the
Go
Bills
against
in
Buffalo?
Von Miller? Or is
I
that
don't
the
know.
time to wear it, or is that the one time where it's like no?
I think I could wear it. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
Okay.
Um,
Monday Night Football
yeah.
in Buffalo.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
We'll keep
You
our
see,
eyes.
you coming up with some ideas, man.
Yeah, there we go.
Get some up my sleeve.
Let's see if all of these are good ideas, something that you like. You know who this is?
Now who's that?
We got some LSU colors. It is Brian Kelly after something bad must have happened. I mean, you never want to get this picture taken of you on the sideline as a head coach with your hand over your face.
That's a Bill Belichick.
We
man.
know you were an LSU fan growing up, but went to
I can't.
Alabama.
No, I can't do that.
No, can't
Yeah, I
honor
can't do
Brian
that.
Kelly.
What if
Yeah.
it's
I
that
can't
one in
cash out
particular?
on that.
What if it's that one with
Yo.
like his hand in his face?
Nah, still.
No, still no.
Yeah, I can't do that.
That's fair. So we've got one good one bad one. Let's hit another one here. Oh, Coach Prime.
Yeah, I will prime time.
Yeah,
Sure.
Yeah.
That'd
I
be
would,
honoring
yeah.
NFL legacy too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has everything.
Especially what he's doing for the state.
Yeah.
I mean, it's only right.
You're
Yeah.
gonna have you been to a game yet?
Not yet. I want to go to hopefully one of these Friday night games. I don't know how many they have, but
There are a
I want to
couple.
catch it. There's a couple.
I think a
Yeah.
couple. Yeah, 2. Stanford would be
Yeah.
a win.
Stanford would definitely be a win. And this, you guys have 2 games in the next like 9 days because you
Yeah.
play Kansas City on a short week. Do you know what you're doing that following weekend since you get it off? You
I
going
don't
home?
know. Maybe hit a game or I don't know yet.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, because I mean, even
Hopefully
though
I
it's
can.
like only 2 or 3 days off, players still try to get away, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they
Yeah,
try to get
definitely
away.
got to.
Some guys go a little bit too far. They had to rush to get back.
You see somebody going to Mexico. I'm like, man, what you
Yeah,
doing?
we ain't got that much
We ain't got that. Yeah.
Well, Vegas isn't too far, so that's probably a hot destination.
Yeah.
Literally a hot destination. All right, let's hit another one here. Oh, Taylor Swift. Oh, you're doing the Brian Kelly.
Man. Exactly. That's all that's been popping up on my feed,
Yeah.
man. I'm like, damn. But no.
No,
That's
no.
not.
Especially now, dating a
Nah.
chief. Yeah,
Nah,
can't do that.
Can't do
Yeah.
it.
Can you believe that
I'm not.
she's like?
I'm not a Swiftie.
It's just before or after
I'm not a Swiftie.
she started dating Travis Kelce.
I wasn't really much of a Taylor Swift fan growing up, but ever since it's just been speculating around, the NFL coaches like, man, no, I can't. No hate though. I mean,
Yeah.
I wish the best for them, but I just can't do it. You know what I mean? No hate though.
Did you see the NFL's Twitter bio yesterday?
Oh yeah.
They changed it to
pictures of her, right?
Yeah, they changed the banner to pictures
Yeah.
of her, and then they put like their bio as Chiefs are 2-0, like with Swift since Taylor Swift's been with them or something. And it's like they immediately changed it, but like, come on, the NFL
It's
kind of
weird.
like pulling for it. We already know it's happening a little bit. We can't make it that obvious.
I didn't even know she
The
was that
NFL
big.
fan base just grew.
yeah.
But like
Just cause.
like a year ago, I was like, yeah, Taylor Swift. People like Taylor Swift. But ever since it's like, oh, it costs like $1,000
Nah,
to go
she's
to a
like
show.
Beyonce
It's like, wait, really?
big. Like she's huge.
Yeah, it's crazy to me. I
Yeah,
thought she
yeah.
kind of like faded away up until like a year ago with the tour and all that.
I just never knew how big her fan base was
Yeah.
until I just seen this recently.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, yeah, she got a group rallying behind her for sure.
It's like a
Yes.
cult. Like with some of these stars, it's almost
I'm
like
like,
a
Travis,
cult.
don't
Like,
mess it up.
Don't. Yeah, for real.
You gonna get-
The Chiefs are gonna go from growing their fan base because of this to totally killing it if it goes wrong.
Yeah.
Who's a celebrity that one of your teammates can date to get this same kind of momentum going behind the
wow.
Broncos?
Because Beyonce.
we got one.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
We got one. We got
That's
one.
very
We
true.
got one.
That is
Yeah.
right.
But all right, let's hit another one here. Oh, no fly zone. We got Chris, TJ, Darian, Akib, Bradley Roby's also in there.
Yeah, definitely.
You'd rock that?
Yeah.
Yep, especially, I mean, being in the secondary.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a relationship
They
with
had
these
some
guys?
great years. Yeah, I talked to Talib a few, Chris a few. I talked to Ward as well too. We chatted up at the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Yeah, they show love.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Great guys. So
Yep, you're going for Broncos legend. That's a pretty good group right there. All right, let's hit a few more. Oh,
Nah.
look who it is.
I'm not even in a jersey or nothing. I'm just.
We got Tom.
we gotta represent.
Preseason game or something?
We gotta represent for the coaches. It's only right, man. Why not?
Hell yeah, I'm with it there.
Todd, I love the hair too. Instead of putting it down, you put it up.
You know, gotta do
Man.
something different. You know what I'm saying?
Would you wear it like that in the helmet, or no? You
Nah,
couldn't because
it
that'd
won't
be way
fit.
too like
Yeah, it
big.
won't
Yeah,
fit.
yeah. So it was out like that, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
That's
So
hilarious.
we're gonna see a Todd Davis sighting. I
Yeah.
love it. I love it.
It's like work right there.
I think we got one or two more here. Oh, emo Jimmy, you're a Heat fan. Did you see this yesterday?
Yeah, I seen that, man. Jimmy crazy, dog. Jimmy's, I don't know what he got going on.
I don't think he's gonna stick with that hairstyle.
No, because
Nah.
he had something like that. Oh, he had the long
The
dreads
dreads.
last year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then he cut those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
he,
hilarious.
he does it just to mess with the media. Man, it was good. He painted the nails too. He had the lip rings as well, the nose ring. That's pretty
Yeah.
good. Did you guys ever think about doing something like
Heck
that?
no.
No?
No, I can't.
I'm
do
chilling.
that.
I'm good all that. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good with where I'm at right now, man.
Yeah.
Do we have one more? Two more. Oh, Tom Brady.
I don't know. Cause I don't know how Broncos fans would feel about that.
Yeah.
I
They
can't.
wouldn't like that.
I can't do it.
Not-
wouldn't
there
like
we
that.
go.
I can't do it.
There we go.
I can't do it.
Can't do it, Tom. One. Broncos fans definitely side with you on that. Pat.
Yeah.
And I actually don't know what this last one is. Let's pull it up. Justin.
Of course.
You could do a current teammate?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Yep.
I'll definitely do Justin.
I love it. So maybe we
Broncos
gave you some.
legend.
Maybe we should gave you some ideas there.
Yeah.
Some bad ones, some good ones.
Hopefully, the guy that makes the T-shirts.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, he's on this podcast. maybe he's on the podcast.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, those are definitely players I would rock on a T-shirt for sure.
Would you ever do one of yourself?
Yeah, but I don't try to. You know what I mean. I just like to, when I wear the shirt, I like to honor other guys. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Just off what they did.
I feel like that's
Oh.
a receiver move to put yourself on there.
Oh yeah.
I think Jerry did that.
Did he?
Yeah. Jerry.
Some receivers be prima donnas, man.
Those receivers.
Okay, we've got a couple of questions. Let's just hit a few of these. First one coming in from the Blind Swordsman saying, PS2, tell Vance to bring the heat. I need a win Sunday. Speaking of bringing the heat, you want to come off the edge? You ever want those corner blitzes?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Always look forward to it.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Let's hit one or two more. Elliot comes in. It says, it sounded like, let's actually not hit that one. let's hit Steven says,
Let's try to get
first
into
super
that.
chat, miss Victory Monday on my birthday due to working 14 hours. Out of the no-fly zone corners, who would you like to play with, Pat? So we got Roby, Akib, Chris. Those are the three corners there. Who would you most like to be opposite of?
Shoot, they all great players. The most I probably say Akib.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just seen like, not only because his play style, but the energy he brought, the passion he brought. It was something else.
He
was
that
that
is
guy for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
a dog.
He was a
And
dog.
I mean, you could probably, in today's NFL, you could just have all four of you guys on the
Yeah.
field. And
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Snatching chains, all that. I need that energy around me.
Todd, you couldn't wear those around Akib if you're playing on the other
Man,
team.
Keith ain't touching my chain. Nah, that's my dog. He not snatching chains over here though. That's my dog.
Oh, man. That is great. And we appreciate all the super chats. We're going to clip these and we'll hit them tomorrow. But that's all the time we have. Pat, thank you so much for joining us. And, man, next time we talk to you, there's a chance, little 3-game win streak
Yeah.
potentially going
Let's
on.
do it.
So we
Put out in the
love
air.
all the insight. Pat, thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah, appreciate y'all.
All right, we'll see you tomorrow on the DNVR Broncos podcast.